All right, so in this video in the series, we are finally going to share our edited video to our social media platforms, which is TikTok and Instagram. And if you have not watched the video of how to edit, you can go ahead and watch that here. But if you are ready, we're also going to talk about how to create Instagram stories and include clickable links. So if you're ready to go ahead and do that, let's go ahead and hop into it. I already went ahead and wrote out the caption. I have the link for the subscriber form on TikTok. I haven't done it on Instagram. Oh, matter of fact, let me show you this real quick too. So let's just leave it there. I'm gonna leave that. Okay, so before, and this is one of the reasons why I wanted to do this video, before we post this to Instagram, TikTok has a new feature. Well, it's a couple months old, but it took them forever to get this feature. If you see this arrow button here, this down arrow, you can now save TikTok videos to your gallery without the TikTok watermark, which is amazing because before we had to post the video on TikTok. There was no way to save it from the editor. You had to post it on TikTok. Then you had to download it from TikTok and use some sort of app that would remove the watermark, or some people would just leave the watermark on. And if you uploaded it to Instagram, the Instagram's algorithm didn't like that, right? It didn't like the fact that you didn't create the video on their platform. So now TikTok has made it easier to where you can just download that video, right? Now in CapCut, you don't have to worry about that because there's no watermark, right? There is, but you can remove it for free. So this is a great feature. If you weren't aware of that, bam, that is what that feature does. So now that we've saved this video, it does not have the TikTok logo. Now we can go and hit next and post it. If you did not save before posting it on TikTok, then you will have the watermark. There's a bunch of different, and I'll use that resource. I'll post the resource in the community, but there's a bunch of different watermark remover apps that I will list if we need that. So anyway, I changed up the video format as you saw. So it's more so kind of talking about like school, and then piquing their interest on the fact that I am creating this community and I am documenting the whole process, right? Which is essentially exactly what I'm doing. Even as I'm making these videos, I'm documenting the process. Things are changing. We're having to pivot, but honestly, that's how I work best. So we're gonna go ahead and post this here. I'm gonna copy this so I can also use the same caption on Instagram because I don't feel like recreating it. It's been a while since I've posted any videos. I'm more often on TikTok than I do on Instagram. But this is a video that will translate well onto that platform. So let me make sure that, okay, I have Clarksville, I've got my cover, and now I don't need to add anything else. You can add up to 5 hashtags on here. I never know what to post though. If anyone has like the keywords, I mean, not the keyword, the hashtag strategy for TikTok and Instagram, please feel free to like educate us in the group. If you are a social media guru, if you know your stuff when it comes to obviously this. Okay, so over here, and now, boom, post. Bam! It's gone. So now I'm just gonna make sure that it does post and that it's working properly. Boom, here we are. That's weird because it's not, why is it above my pinned post? Is it because, okay, there we go. It was just a glitch. Okay, so boom, everything's working. I have my link, bam, up there. And I think it's so weird though, because I just started this MailChimp and I've already gained a subscriber, but I didn't post the link anywhere. So if you know anything about that, let us know. But so now I'm going to go and hop onto Instagram so that I can show you guys. I mean, it's essentially the same process, and I'm sure maybe you haven't. Maybe this is the first time you're posting content on social, and if you are, welcome. I'm so happy that you may be making your first post because of this group. So now I'm going to come to Instagram, and I'm going to post this as a reel. And just since we're here, so a reel you can post that's if it's under, I think, 60 seconds or like a minute and 30 seconds. And then if it's over that, you want to post it as a post. But whether you post it as a post or a reel, now they all show up on reels. But if you have a longer video, you want to make sure that you select post, because reels only allows up to, if you use the reel feature, I think it's like a minute and 30 seconds. I could be wrong, but it's shorter than post. So I'm just going to select reel here. And now if you notice, there's two separate videos. The one with the watermark, by default, TikTok saves your video when you post the video, but you don't want the one that has the watermark. You want the one without it. So now I'm going to select this and boom. Real quick, let me just check. I don't think I have any audio because the audio doesn't transfer. Let me just make sure real quick. This is something to keep in mind. It's important that you don't use any copyright audio. So specifically like Taylor Swift, or actually it was more of an issue on TikTok. TikTok has an issue really with copyright. Instagram doesn't as much, because when I used a Taylor Swift video or audio on TikTok, it muted it on TikTok, but I think it didn't. No, it didn't on Instagram because it originated from Instagram. So anyway, it's just something to keep in mind. Try to like not use copywritten music from Instagram to TikTok and vice versa. Just use the instrumental music if you can, if possible. And if you have to use any copyright music, then just make sure that it exists on the TikTok platform and the Instagram platform individually, because sometimes they don't transfer over. Anyway, so I'm not going to make any edits because, again, we have our captions, we have our music. The only thing I will edit is this preview button here, or I'm sorry, this edit cover, and I'll make it the same. What's cool about Instagram that TikTok does not have is Instagram gives you the ability to add a separate image entirely from your camera roll. So like maybe I just had my sketch logo, right? Or if I just had a picture of me or whatever that isn't even in the video, you can upload that image and use it instead. So I know a lot of people do that. They'll have a completely irrelevant image as their thumbnail, and kind of like YouTube, right? But you don't have that ability on TikTok. So I'm not going to use any picture. I like what I have. I'm going to come over here and I am going to post, boom, the caption, and then I am going to hit OK. Okay. Get out of here. Hashtags. Anyway. Let me correct that. So workflow, boom. I'm not used to working on an iPhone. All right, now before I do this though, I haven't updated my profile with so let me just save this draft. Boom, okay. So, I guess now I can, I've been talking about it on my stories, so now I'm officially gonna post about it. We're making it official. All right, let's do it. So, it should be in my drafts now, so I come over here. Go to my, oh wait, come over here, my reels. If you ever need to get back to your drafts, your reel drafts, you can just click on this video icon and then you can access your drafts. All right, so have you heard of school? Come along with me, a community of like-minded creators to start your next creation. Join the waitlist. Community creators, workflow. Okay. And add a location. I always like to add where I am. My location. Allow once. Clarksville, Tennessee. And it's also going to share to my Facebook. I don't want to put the link in. Anyway, I'll figure that out. All right, so we're going to go to next and share.
Be scared of a wacky.
There we go. We have officially posted on Instagram and TikTok. And then what I'm going to do is I'm also going to show you, because we're here, how to post it on stories, which stories are so incredibly powerful on Instagram. Actually, one of the reasons why I stopped vlogging so much on TikTok was when Instagram allowed you to post longer stories, because before it was like 15 seconds, and then in like 2022, I believe, they started allowing you to post up to like a minute. And that is when I also, that was another reason why I wasn't vlogging as much on TikTok, was because I was vlogging through my stories on Instagram, and it was just easier because I didn't have to go and edit an entire video. Um, so stories are incredibly powerful. I think they're one of the most powerful like algorithm checks on Instagram. Don't quote me. But I know that people check them more often than they do your permanent posts, because they show up at the top of, they show up at the top of Instagram, right? You can see it all here. So if you're not using Instagram stories, I highly, highly, highly encourage you to do that. I'm going to go ahead and share this on my stories. And now anyone can add a link in their stories. So that was also not a feature that was available to everyone. You had to have a certain amount of followers. I think it was like 10,000. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here. I'm going to do this, and I'm going to add to story, right? So bam, now that's there. And then you just come to that little smiley face sticky note thing, and you go to link, and now you can paste this link here, paste, and then I'm going to customize the sticker, and I'm going to say join wait list. All right, done. Okay, so now I'm officially putting this on there. And now anyone on Facebook that, again, this will disappear though in 24 hours, right? So I'll go back and put the link on Facebook. But this will also show up on my Facebook stories, and then people will be able to click the link from Instagram to Facebook. So with Instagram, you got a 2-for-1. I don't really engage much on my Facebook, but I still get a lot of people who are on that platform who will message me about the things that I'm posting on Instagram. So don't underestimate Facebook. It is still a very, very active platform. I'm just not on there as much. So there we go. Now I'm posting it to my stories, and it's done. So it is done. We have documented, we have edited, we've shared, and now we build, right? We build, we grow, we pivot because things are going to change. But yeah, I hope you got value out of that. I hope that maybe you learned something that you didn't know before, if you knew how to upload already to these platforms. But anyway, yeah, I'll see you. I'll see you in the next one. All right, guys, so we are done. If you have been following along, if you had an edited video, maybe now you have finally shared it. And if not, you can see that it is not super difficult. It is just a matter of making sure that you understand some of the features, some of the functionalities, and then boom, you are off to creating and sharing your own content. So if you like this video, I hope I earned a thumbs up, and also subscribe to follow along the journey. And I look forward to seeing what you guys create. Leave any feedback, any comments. You can post a link to your own social media, to your first video. That would be pretty cool. That'd be pretty fun. So I'm excited, and I'll see you on the next one.